What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Garage Gym Gains. I'm Ricky, and this is the home of pretty much anything home gym related. So if you have a home gym, hit the thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss any of the content. Speaking of missing things, what you don't want to do is miss out on Rep Fitness's Memorial Day sale that starts tomorrow, depending on when you watch this video. So it'll be tomorrow, which in this case is it'll be May 27th. It's starting at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. So put it in your calendar, May 27th, 10 a.m. Mountain Time. So what we're gonna do today, to give you a little bit of a preview, is I'm gonna talk about the 13 things I would buy from Rep Fitness. Now, this isn't necessarily the things I would buy right now because I already have a squat rack, but I am gonna talk about those because this is the first time in about 2 years that Rep has had a sale on the PR 5000 or the PR 4000. Obviously, they weren't doing any sales when the lockdown was happening because they could barely keep them in, right? Because they're a good rack. It's what I would have gotten had they been in stock. Instead, I went with the Rogue Monster rack, which again, obviously an awesome rack. I don't regret getting that, but I was wanting the Rep Fitness. It was the one that was in my #1 spot. It just wasn't in stock, but they are in stock now and they're going to be having a sale on them, and that's huge. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to go through the different things that I would buy if I was in the market for more gym equipment, which, let's be honest, I am, so I might pick up a couple of them, but yeah, don't tell the wife, right? I don't think she watches the channel, so that's certainly helpful. But we are going to get into it. I am going to be linking everything that we look at today. If you go through the links tonight, check things out. If you go through the links tomorrow, it's going to help the channel if you do purchase something. I am a Rep Fitness affiliate, and any purchase or anything that you go through those links, I get a small percentage of that, and most of it goes back into the channel for me to buy stupid stuff, I guess, honestly. But you get a benefit from that because it's more for you to see. But anyways, like I said, I'll link everything down below. We're gonna get started. We might as well start on their homepage here. T-minus 24 hours. In my case, it's about oh my goodness, math, man. 15 hours. It's 8 o'clock tonight. I'm gonna hopefully post this tonight to give you a little bit of a heads up, but sale starts at 10 tomorrow. I would assume it's gonna be going on for a while. I'm not sure if they actually say. I'm sure they do somewhere. I think it's going on for a couple of days, so definitely click through the links, get yourself some savings. But they say up to 25% off power backs, benches, kettlebells, barbells, sandbags, and more. Very interested in what the and more is. As you can imagine, not really sure what that would be, but let's get right into it. First things first, the Rep PR 5000 Volume 2 Power Rack. Like I said earlier, this would have been my #1 choice for a power rack. This is what I would have gotten had everything been in stock. If I was in the market today for a new power rack and I was starting a gym from scratch per se, this is what I would be getting. So let's go ahead and customize it real quick. I was just doing this the other day. I'm gonna go 93 inch. We're gonna do the red uprights because why not? But we don't want red cross members. We want a 41 inch depth inside. We're gonna go metallic black for that red and black finish that you guys know I like. Honestly, I don't really have this space for a 6-post rack, so we're gonna leave the weight storage off. Pull-up bar, I would definitely go with the multi-grip. I really like doing neutral grip pull-ups. In my opinion, they hit your lats more than a regular pull-up does. Regular pull-up being this way, I prefer staying in here because it's more of a natural movement. We don't need the regular pull-up bar. Safeties, we're doing strap safeties all day. What do we have for J-cups? I wish their monolift was in stock, but it's not. So we're gonna go with the fancy sandwich J-cups. We don't really need the regular ones. We'll take them off there. Accessories, obviously, a lot of these are gonna be out of stock, but they do have the dip attachment. I would definitely be getting that if I didn't have the mutant metals. The front foot extension, that's actually a little bit of a preview into one of the later items, so we'll leave that alone. And the spotter arms, pretty good deal on those as well, at least compared to Rogues, but we'll leave it all off of there. Comes out to a grand total of $12.96 plus shipping. It would ship freight, obviously, and I believe it's coming out of Denver, although they do have another shipping location now, if I'm not mistaken. I'm just not exactly sure where that is, to be honest, but in my opinion, $12.96 for that rack with those accessories, I think that's a pretty sweet deal. You're gonna save a few $100s over the Rogue comparison, being the RM4, and in my opinion, totally worth it. But the thing I was deciding between before I wanted the Rep PR 5000 is, should I get the PR 4000? So the 5000 is a 3x3 rack with 1-inch hardware and holes. The PR 4000 is a 3x3 inch rack with 5/8 hardware and holes. Now, you're gonna be totally fine with either one. Honestly, the PR 4000 is completely overkill as it is. You don't need the 1-inch holes and hardware. However, the 1-inch holes and hardware is gonna give you a little more compatibility with some other brands. Matches like the Monster series from Rogue, the Titan series, that type of thing. So more of the premium attachments are gonna be coming out on those flagship lines. So if you care a lot about attachments, maybe you go that route, or if you just like the way it looks, or if you just want the huge bolts and huge nuts that come along with something like that, it might be worth it as well. But the benefit of the PR 4000 is you get the west side spacing, which I guess you can get the lowered J-cups on the PR 5000, so it's kind of a wash there, but some people do like the west side spacing. I know I like it when I have the opportunity to use it. So let's switch this one up. We'll go metallic black this time. We'll do some blue cross members. And let's say you're trying to save some space and we want to go with the 30-inch. Oh, okay. So 30-inch is going to bring us a few more, but let's stay with the blue there. Weight storage, again, we don't need it because this time we're trying to save space. And let's say we're on a little bit of a budget as well, so we're going to stick with the regular pull-up bar, only $34. Pretty sweet deal. Safeties, this time we're going to go with the pin and pipe because, like I said, we're saving a little bit of money. Going to go with the standard J-cup because you've got to have J-cups. Accessories, we don't need any of it, but here it is. It looks like some of the PR 4000 accessories are a little more in stock than the 5000, which makes sense. That's coming into a grand total of only $819, and I believe we could even save a little bit more money if we go an 80-inch height. Yep, brings you into $787. That's honestly a really good deal for a rack. If you're not bought into the 1-inch hype, then go with the 5/8, get the PR 4000. That's an amazing deal. I would highly recommend that as well, especially if it's going to be on sale. That's going to be nuts. So definitely check that out. It's linked down below, just like all the other things I'm going to talk about. If you go through the links, it does help the channel. Next up, this is something I do actually want, or at least a version of this. Believe it or not, I don't use my reverse hyper very often, or the Titan HPND, so I wouldn't mind putting that into our commercial gym and getting a functional trainer for the garage gym. This thing looks pretty sweet. I've heard some really good things about it. Decently big weight stacks. I mean, yeah, it's a functional trainer. It has tons of pull-up options up top. Looks like a pretty good piece of equipment. Comes in at, let's see, just under $2,000, and then the optional package, well, they're both out of stock, so that doesn't matter. You're looking at $1,999, which when you compare it to the Titan Fitness lat pull down that I have that is now upwards of around $1,500, it's making the functional trainer look like a pretty sweet deal. Obviously, you can't really do pull downs very well without just sitting on the floor, which isn't the end of the world, but you can do chest flies. So everybody likes their chest flies. That is something that I want to get. But moving on, item number 4, I believe, if I still know how to count, is the PR 5000 front foot extension. for really no other reason other than I think they look cool. I don't do anything outside the front of the rack. However, if I were to get some type of ISO arm, that's definitely something I would want to throw on there, even if I have it bolted down. A little extra help certainly wouldn't hurt. The other benefit I see of these is obviously, like I said before, if you're benching or squatting outside of the rack, it can be beneficial. But the other thing is if you're gonna use the spotter arms on the front of the rack, say to do bent over rows off the spotter arms or rack pulls or something like that, you definitely wanna have a little more support up there, and they're less than $100, so kind of a win-win. Next up, we have the AB 5000 Zero Gap. This thing is sweet. You've all heard about it. You've all seen it. You know I love Rep Fitness benches. I haven't had a chance to try the Zero Gap, but as much as people love it, I think I need to give it a shot at some point, and it looks pretty cool as well. It looks a little more exciting than a regular bench. Pretty standard height. You can do lots of cool stuff with it. And yeah, it's just really a pretty interesting bench that gives you some options, and it's kind of a do it all in one because of the zero gap setting. Let's see if we get a good look on it. We don't, so I'll bring it back to right here. So these little guys slide back and forth right there, and that eliminates this gap right here. That gap right there is the reason that a lot of people don't like using adjustable benches while they bench press, because their butt ends up being right in that gap, unless the top pad is long enough that you can just set up back here. But a lot of people like using the full pad, and that's where the zero gap comes in handy, because there is zero gap. It just slides in and boom, you're good to go. So that's a pretty sweet bench. I would definitely be checking that out. Next up, let's look at a power bar, the Rep Deep Neural Power Bar EX. Honestly, I'm not really sure what the EX stands for, to be completely honest. But it does look like it's stainless steel, which I actually didn't realize. That's pretty awesome. And yeah, it's a power bar, good knurling, and I've heard some really good things about it. I forgot that it was stainless steel. I think I knew that, and that explains the price tag on it, $3.99, which at first glance seems like a lot, but for a full stainless steel bar, it's kind of a pretty good deal in my opinion. So especially if you're in a garage gym where it's a little humid and maybe you don't take the best care of your bars as far as maintenance goes and oiling them and all that stuff, then it's definitely something you might want to check out. Trust me on that. Stainless steel or Cerakote is usually the way to go in a garage. You can get by with bare steel, but you just have to stay on top of things, or perhaps have a basement, as Brandon would suggest, because then you don't have to deal with any of that. Next up, probably my favorite bench press that's out there. This is the, well, this is actually the competition version. I have the the wide pad. Having difficulty talking this evening, I guess. But this is, in my opinion, the absolute best bang for your buck when it comes to a flat bench. Super solid. One of my favorite benches. I've used it for many a PR in the garage, and I absolutely love it. I weigh a decent little bit, and I can bench at least a couple plates, and it is absolutely stable. I've never had any issues with it. It's very grippy. One of the things that often gets overlooked when you're looking for a flat bench is not only do you need to worry about how stable it is, but also the firmness of the pad, the width of the pad, but also the texture of the pad itself. The material they use on the Rep pads is real grippy, and you're not gonna just slide right off the bench. You don't have to put the resistance bands around it for extra stick. You just use the bench like you normally would, and it does the job, at least for me. I really like it. I recommend it to everybody, and for $170, that's a pretty awesome deal. Let's go ahead and click the wide pad though. It looks like the wide pad is out of stock, which is unfortunate, but only 50 bucks. Shipping does add a decent chunk onto the price of that because it's a pretty heavy pad and it's kind of an awkward size. But in my opinion, it's totally worth it. I would just go ahead and get the flat bench now and then replace it with the wide pad down the road if you don't like the competition pad. Next up, I want a sandbag, and I'm not really sure why, because I don't know a whole lot about sandbag training, but it seems like kind of something cool to have. They're pretty cheap, lots of different options, and it's just something a little bit different. The main thing I could see myself using it for is lunges, probably, just because it's hard to do weighted lunges inside of the garage, because if I have a barbell, I need to watch out where I'm at, and I don't really like doing, I prefer more of a walking lunge, or at least taking a step or two as opposed to staying in place. But either way, I can just take that outside and do some lunges outside. Don't really need to worry about taking that much care of it. If it gets dropped, no big deal. That's kind of what they're for. So yeah, they have different sizes. Like I said, they change in weight. They have the weight down here, so you can have a little bit of a range, and it gives you the filler bags, which you then, I guess, fill with sand and then dump that in. Pretty cool deal. I would assume shipping on these is pretty cheap. However, I'm not 100% certain. They do have different colors, so you can get the one that matches your gym the best. Next up, now most of everything that I've put on here so far has been in stock. These plates are gonna be a little bit of an outlier because some of them are not in stock. However, back to what I was talking about earlier, when I first started my gym, one of the things that I was looking at was what type of plates that I wanted. And I was leaning a little bit towards the Rep Equalizer iron Olympic plates, which are right here. I was deciding between these or the 6-shooters, and I ended up getting neither of them. The 6-shooters being from Rogue, but I think they're really sweet. You can do gray or black, which is pretty cool. At least you could at some point. Maybe they're just all out of stock now, so it doesn't matter. But the other thing that they have is they just came out with the Rep Old School iron plates, which are just, like it says, old school iron plates, but they're at a pretty good price. And if you need some plates, pretty good spot to do it. Only thing they're out of is 10s and 2.5s. So that's pretty good there. And then they also have their Rep iron plates, which look fairly similar for the most part. And then the only ones they're out of is the 5 pounds. Honestly, I'm not entirely sure what the difference is between these two, other than these just look like that old school. They have that old school vibe. Oh, it says the 2.5s are coming soon. Okay, there you go. Either way, pretty sweet. If you like that old school vibe, go with those. Next up, if I had the room, I would be getting some dumbbells. I like the feel of just regular dumbbells. It's easier if you're training with multiple people, obviously, because you don't have to switch the power blocks back and forth. That's what I have in my garage gym. They're great for what they are, but they're not the best thing out there. If you can get a full set of dumbbells, obviously that's going to be ideal if you have the space and the budget for it. But you can get a full set, 5 to 100 pounds, and I believe, I want to say that comes with the stand as well, but it might not. I'm not sure if it comes with the stand or not. You're definitely going to have to double check that. But like I said, they do have the 5 to 50 available for just under $1,500. 80 to 100 pound is $2,200, or the 5 through 100 is $5,016. It's interesting that these are out of stock, but the 5 through 100 isn't. Maybe they're just taking priority on those big sets so that they're not left with some weird variations. But dumbbells are a huge hit in home gyms because of the versatility, and that's just more things that you can curl, which is always good. Next up, we've got 2 more, is the Rep Kettlebells. They're pretty sweet. It looks like they're fairly good quality. Again, I haven't actually had the chance to use them, but I mean, in my opinion, a kettlebell is kind of a kettlebell to some degree. Obviously, if you go real cheap, they're not going to hold up, but these look like they're pretty good quality, and they have some decent reviews. They have from 10 to 50 in stock. Heavier ones are out of stock, and the 5 pound, which I didn't even know they made 5 pound kettlebells, also out of stock. But I know these are going to be on sale, or at least some type of kettlebell will be on sale. They do have a few. I'll show you here. I'd assume it's not their adjustable kettlebell. These are out of stock. It's probably going to be the rep pound kettlebells that are going to be on sale, so it'll be interesting to see if they get that full 25% discount or some smaller chunk of that. Either way, it's worth checking out. And the last thing, I realized the other day when we built the monkey rig in our new commercial gym that I haven't jumped in a real long time. You have to jump to catch the bar to go across and come back or whatever you want to do. And it's been a really long time since I've jumped, and I realized I weigh a lot more than the last time I jumped, but I'm also stronger. And either way, it's weird not doing athletic movements anymore. And at least for a while, I was doing plyo jumps to prime my nervous system before I did heavy squats or deadlifts. And honestly, I feel like it helped. It kind of got me fired up a little bit. And right now I don't have anything to jump onto. So for space-saving reasons, I would probably go with the 3-in-1 soft plyo box because I wouldn't have room for a full set, and they're a pretty decent price in my opinion. And again, these could be on sale as well. The 2016 81 down from 109, and then the larger one, the 2420, is 159. Plus side, it has different sizes. Another plus, it is soft, so if you hit your shin on it, no big deal. You can use it as a seat when you're working out if you need to rest, and it's gonna be a lot cheaper than the full foam plyo boxes, even though those would be very cool as well. I mean, the 24-inch here is 250, so that's gonna add up pretty dang quick. But those are the things that I would like to buy from Rep Fitness. Again, they do have a Memorial Day sale starting the 27th of May. That is Thursday. It's gonna start at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, so 11 Central. That's the time zone I'm in. Yeah, figure it out for your own time zone so you make sure you don't miss it. I would assume the racks especially are gonna go pretty quick. The benches as well, or at least the variation you're wanting, might be selling out. So I would make sure you're on there in time to check that out. And again, if you like the video, hit a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you are going to be doing some shopping, make sure you click through the links tonight to get ready for it tomorrow. And it's also going to help out the channel. And we always appreciate that. I keep saying we, and I don't know why, because I'm the only one on the channel. Maybe I'm trying to manifest the growth of the channel where at some point we'll have a team. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. But right now I'm going to edit this video and get it out there so you can have a little bit more time to prepare yourself.